Hi, this is Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is DuckTales, Sweet Duck of Youth for 1989. So let's get started. Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Launchpad McQuack, and Mrs. Beakley sung happy birthday to Scrooge McDuck as he opened his presents. When he saw it, he almost cried. It was a rocking chair. It's the perfect gift, said Mrs. Beakley happily. Am I really that old? Thought Scrooge, suddenly tired. Why, it seemed like only yesterday I made me first million. Oh, if only I could go back. If only I could find the fortune of the fountain of youth. That idea sends him rushing to his library. A moment later, the other found him smiling down at a book in his hands. Pack your bags, lad. We're going to Florida, said Scrooge. Going to Florida? Repeated Lunchpad. To do what? To find the fountain of youth, said Scrooge. Isn't that just a legend, Uncle Scrooge? Asked Huey. Not according to this book, said Scrooge. Pouncy Loren found it somewhere in Florida. Come on, we're leaving right away. Hours later, the helicopter was flying over Florida Evergreens. A man dressed like an old Spanish soldier watched the helicopter overhead. He aimed his crossbow at the helicopter and let the arrow fly. We have lost control, yelled Lunchpad. Get ready for an emergency landing. The helicopter landed in the swamp. Everyone out, cried Scrooge. We'll meet on dry land. Scrooge's nephew got out first and grabbed a log that floated by. Scrooge ended up at the other side of a hill, separated from everyone else. Unable to find Lunchpad or his nephew, Scrooge set up a shelter where he could spend the night. He lit a fire to keep warm. He hoped that Lunchpad and the boys would see the fire and join him. Someone else joined him instead. Scrooge let out a yell. A Spanish conqueror was coming towards him, and an axe was at his head. Scrooge had fainted. When he woke up, he found himself in a net hanging from the ceiling of a shack. He saw a Lunchpad hanging right next to him. The Spanish soldiers stood guard. Meanwhile, Huey, Dewey, and Louie had found the shack. Watching for danger, they tiptoed up to it and peeked through the window. Look, Uncle Scrooge and Lunchpad are prisoners, said Huey. There's a guy just like an old Spanish soldier. Why would he dress that way? Said Dewey. Boy, is he old, said Louie. Why are you holding us prisoner? Asked Scrooge. We had come to You had come to steal my secret, answered the old man. Your secret? We didn't even know you lived here. Don't lie, you want to steal the map to the Fountain of Youth. You have the map? Asked Scrooge, doubtfully. No, that's impossible. If you had it, you wouldn't be so old. When the old man left the house, Scrooge's nephew freed the prisoner. The stranger returned, no longer wearing his armor. He sighed. I see you are not alone. I might as well tell you my story. I came here many, many years ago, looking for the Fountain of Youth. Found this old suit of armor and inside the helmet was a map that showed exactly where the fountain was. Well, where is it? Scrooge wanted to know. At the old mission. But I warn you, the fountain is dry. We'll go there in the morning, Scrooge decided. At sunrise, the group stood before the ruin of the Spanish mission. The fountain had been well cared for, but no water had poured through it in years. Everyone knew how disappointed Scrooge was, and they all stood around the fountain in silence. Suddenly, the bricks underneath their feet gave way, and they dropped down into the river that flowed through an underground cave. It seemed as if the river carried them for hours until finally they came to a stop in a large cave where the water would come. Look, shouted Lunchpad, pointing to the cave walls. Giant figures were carved into the rock, and water squirted from their mouths. It was the fountain of youth. Scrooge looked into the water and screamed with surprise. The Scrooge who looked back at him was 40 years younger. So, this is the secret of the fountain, said the old man, looking into the water himself. The water doesn't make you younger. It only shows you what you look like when you were younger. I was very good looking, wasn't I, said Scrooge, but I still look like myself the way I am. I think I am more interested. On their way back to civilization, everyone felt worn out. Everyone that is except Scrooge, who acts 40 years younger. It was time to return to Duckburg. The old man went to the airport with them to say goodbye. I hope you'll come again, he said, shaking Scrooge's hand. I hope our next meeting won't be so tiresome, said Lunchpad. I think I could sleep for a week. Life is too short to waste it in bed, Scrooge told him. I can't wait to get back to my business. When they landed at Duckburg Airport, Mrs. Beakley's niece, Webbigail, was waiting. As soon as Scrooge was off the plane, she gave him a big hug. I'm so happy to see you, she said. I was afraid you'll come back younger. Why would that make you afraid? Asked Scrooge. Why? Because I like you just the way you are. So that was DuckTales, Sweet Ducks of Youth for 1989. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, have a groovy day with another video come out real soon.